Hey everyone, it's Dr. Jen Trachtenberg, board certified pediatrician, parenting expert, and the mom of 3 children as well. And today on Ask Dr. Jen, we're going to talk all about car seat safety, what you need to know to really prevent serious injury in your kids. And I know as a mom, as a pediatrician, and to all the parents that I speak to in my practice every single week that there's a lot of confusion when it comes to car seats, which one to use, which one to buy, where to put it in the car, when to turn it around, how to keep your kids really safe when they're in the car driving. So I'm going to give you the most up-to-date recommendations from the American Academy of Pediatrics about car seats and car seat safeties for your children from newborns all the way through teenage years. So listen in. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to just put them in the comments, or I will answer them as we're going through it. So I hope this is interactive as well too, and lots of information to get through. So here we go. So let's start with newborns and car seat safety. So first of all, if you just had a newborn, congratulations. As you know, to leave the hospital, if you're going in a car, you have to leave the hospital with a car seat. So it's important, I think, to get a car seat ahead of time. Why? Because it can be confusing how to put it together. Make sure that usually the infant carrier that you get, and that's usually the first car seat, is an infant carrier. It has a handle, it often has a base that can also go into the car. And the base is good because it just clicks in and out, and so you can, if you can buy more than one base actually and put it into different cars and then just click the infant carrier in and out of the car. But I'm going to tell you a trick ahead of time. Buy that infant car seat, set it up, try it. You might even use a stuffed animal or a doll. Make sure you know how to put the straps on correctly so your baby is safe. You want to make sure that it is snug, that you have 1 or 2 fingers that you can put in where the straps are, but you don't want to make it loose. You don't want to be able to fit blankets or other clothing in there as well too. If you feel that your child may be cold, you can put a blanket on top of the infant carrier or car seat. You never want to bundle them up because then it's not as safe and you don't have all the protection that you need. So try out that car seat ahead of time, so then when you get to the hospital, there's no stress when you're leaving. You know how to do it. You can put the baby right in, and then you can bring the baby right in the car. And remember also that the infant carrier, it's really made for being in the car. It's not made for feeding and not made for sleeping. You really only want to use the car seat for the purpose of travel within the car. So as I said, you're going to put the car seat in the car, install it properly according to the directions, and you want to put it rear facing. So infant carriers always go rear facing in the car, and I get asked a lot, what's the safest place in the back seat? So if you can, the middle of the back seat is the best place to put your baby, and that's not always possible depending on the size of your car and the make of your car, or you can put it from one side near the door. But if you can, put it in the center. That is the actually safest place for baby. And as we know, if you get one thing out of this talk today, is that rear facing for all children is actually the safest. You want to keep your baby and child rear facing for as long as possible. So in an infant carrier, the baby can stay in the infant carrier as long as it, until it meets the top requirements for the height and weight of that infant carrier. After that, then you can't use the infant carrier anymore. So what can you do if you still have an infant and even a toddler as well too? You can buy something called a convertible car seat. And what a convertible car seat is that it's convertible. It can actually be rear facing, and then you can actually turn it around, and it could be forward facing as well too. So again, rear facing is the safest. And what's great about these convertible car seats is that they have a higher height and weight requirement, so the child can be facing backwards for longer periods of time than an infant carrier. So you can keep your infant facing backwards, and it's totally safe to do. It's even safer, as I said, than facing forward. I know there's always this rush to turn your child around, but again, it's safer facing backwards. I also hear from parents sometimes, but their legs are squished up. Is that okay? And the answer is yes. There's no studies, there's nothing to show that it's not dangerous to impacting their legs. It doesn't usually bother them. It usually bothers the parents more looking at them that they have their legs bent, but it's totally okay to have their legs bent facing backwards. So you can keep kids even like up to up to age 4, even longer, just depending on their weight. So don't give in to that peer pressure, or you hear, oh, when I was little, we only had to do it until age 1, and then now it was we only did to age 2. Or we don't even use car seats, but we know that car seats save lives. And so you must keep your child protected when they're in the car. And the safest way is rear facing. So when you start with an infant carrier, you can then go to a convertible car seat. And then when they reach the maximum height and weight limit, you'll turn them around and face forward in the car seat. And that's where we're up to now. So like toddlers and preschoolers are then now in a forward-facing car seat. So a forward-facing car seat should have a 5-point restraint, and that's when they have that the harness straps that go through in between the legs, that either snaps or buckles right in between. And again, you want it to be tight, not too tight, but you can put a finger or two in between the straps and your child. You don't want to buckle them in with their coats on or their jackets or big puffy blankets as well. Again, you can cover them if they need warmth, but for the most protection, you want them to be snug inside their car seat. And at this point, as we said, they're facing forward. And I just want to bring up, when your car seats can come in all different price ranges, right? And more expensive doesn't mean it's a better car seat, meaning that it's not a safer car seat. Safety, as long as it meets the safety and standard requirements, then your car seat is good to go. The price can range because it has extra cup holders and the fabric that it's made of, that it might be easier to clean, easier to get in and out of the car. So price point is not always the most important factor. You want to make sure that you have a car seat that meets the federal regulations for car seat safety. That's really what's most important. So you want to keep your child in the car seat then for as long as possible until they meet the height and weight requirements. But also another way to tell that your child may be growing out of their forward-facing car seat is the straps. So the straps should come from above the shoulder down, and if not, you can sometimes move it up a ring higher and put them through. If you're already at the top ring and you see that the straps come from below and then they come over the shoulders, then that means the car seat is too small for your child, and then they may be ready for a booster seat. They may not, but we're going to talk about that, if they're ready or not for the booster seat. It may unfortunately mean that you need another car seat that has a higher weight and height requirement. But then moving on to the booster seat for school age